All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started on this week's broadcast, we wanted to send a birthday wish to three special little children, all turning the age of 2 around the same time in the fall. So first up is Mrs. Emma Houston, who turned 2 early September, Mr. Brendan Nazario, who turned 2 just yesterday, and Mrs. Ashley Winter Wilson, who will be turning 2 next month. So of course, we'll do another birthday wish for Mrs. Wilson, but wanted to get all three of these beautiful babies and wish them all a happy 2 years old and to their parents. So I've heard about terrible twos. So I can say to moms and dads, don't call me. And I say that jokingly. Week 2 of the Dallas Cowboys 2021 season, as they were playing their second straight road game, this time playing the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Let's not forget, they opened up SoFi Stadium in the empty arena last year playing the Los Angeles Rams. That was a very competitive game. Came down to a phantom offensive pass interference call, so the Cowboys was the first team to play in that stadium, and from all appearances, a very beautiful stadium. So Cowboys limp into this game, missing starting right tackle Lyle Collins, who is serving a 5-game suspension for violation of the substance abuse policy or a couple of missed drug tests. Starting wide receiver Michael Gallup, who's a calf strain that was suffered in the Tampa Bay game. Starting defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, who hurt himself in practice. Other starting defensive end Randy Gregory, who was on the COVID list. And starting safety Donovan Wilson for injury. So clearly limping into the game, the Cowboys clearly were the underdogs going to this game and pulled out a 20-17 victory on the road. Some quick stats before we get to our highlights of the game. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 23 of 27 attempts, 237 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tony Pollard with perhaps his best game as a Cowboy, 13 carries, 109 yards with 1 touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 16 carries, 71 yards with 1 touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 8 catches, 81 yards. Blake Jarwin, 3 catches, 37 yards. Again, Tony Pollard, 3 catches, 31 yards. Dak Prescott did have 1 fumble that was recovered by Zach Martin. On the defensive side, Jalen Smith led the way with 9 total tackles, 6 solo. Leighton Vander Esch, 7 total tackles, 4 solo. 1 sack and 2 tackles for a loss. Trayvon Diggs, 6 total tackles, 6 solo, and 1 interception. And Micah Parsons, keeping an eye on the rookie sensation, 2 tackles, 2 solo, and 1 sack. And we'll get to him in a minute. Some key takeaways from this game. The Dallas Cowboys took the opening drive, or their opening drive, for a touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first time that has happened in 20 games. So let me paint the picture for you. In 20 straight games, the Dallas Cowboys have not scored an opening drive touchdown. If your math is correct, the last time that happened was in the 2019 season, and if my memory serves me correctly, that was against the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving. They took the opening drive, they scored a touchdown, and pretty much got their asses spanked by the Bills on Thanksgiving. To really put it into perspective for you, the last time the Cowboys scored an opening drive offensive touchdown, we have elected a new president since then. So that's what they did. They came out, drove the ball down the field against the Chargers, and in a really cool play design, you can call it misdirection, a version of a jet sweep, where Tony Pollard comes from the left side of the line, Ezekiel Elliott lines up in the backfield, takes the handoff and sprint to the end zone. Joey Bosa was fooled by the play, and we'll be honest, I was fooled by the play. So excellent play design, more so better execution, and the Cowboys, they get on the board 7-0. Very next the first offensive possession for the Chargers, first Cowboys defensive. Trayvon Diggs makes a tremendous interception. I mean, it really couldn't do anything better than that. Great break on the ball. I mean, this guy really is a playmaker. Again, it's kind of feast or famine with him. He'll give up the big play, but then he'll make a spectacular play, and that really was probably one of the best interceptions so far this season. Dak Prescott comes out and gets a couple plays and throws a terrible interception, which he accepted responsibility for that. So because of that, the Chargers, they score and they end up, they're still down 7-3. So Cowboys are still leading. Cowboys then go up, drive the ball the length of the field. Ezekiel Elliott smells the end zone, so the Cowboys are up 14-3. Really looking at that first quarter, it was looking as though the Cowboys was going to blow the Chargers out. And they kept letting them hang around, and here's where the Chargers hung around. In the second quarter, the Cowboys, 4th and 20. So the Chargers are getting ready to punt. They are 4th and 20. All you have to do is lay off the punter and have a good possession and drive the ball the length of the field. Now, yes, it was a bad call. Jeremy, I know you're listening. You were correct. Azur Kamara was held and thrown into the kicker, and I agree with you on that 100%. My thing is, why even rush the kicker? You play to make sure that there's no punt fakes, and you get that possession back. So, yes, it was a bad holding call, which resulted in them getting a first down. Again, folks, that was 4th and 20, and they get a roughing the kicker call that resulted in a first down. Because of that, Chargers take the ball and they end up scoring a touchdown. So, again, you don't want those types of plays. We go to the second half. It really turned into a defensive battle. As the Cowboys defense really stiffened up, you can make an argument both defenses stiffened up. But when the time came, the defense made some plays. Damontae Kazee with a huge interception in the end zone where the Chargers pretty much drove the ball, I believe, from the 4, 5, or 6 yard line, drove the ball the length of the field. So definitely a game changer because, again, that really could have maybe put the game out of reach for the Cowboys. Cowboys get the last possession. Now the game is tied 17-17. And when you wonder why you pay quarterbacks a lot of money and why you pay your running backs a lot of money, because that last drive was pretty much Dak Prescott and the Ezekiel Elliott show. Zeke has a key third down conversion, picks up a lot of clutch yards in that final possession. Amari Cooper, who really had a quiet day but really made a tough catch, and Zach really threaded the needle between two defenders. Cooper came up a little bit banged up. Now, I don't know what they were thinking on this final play. At 2nd and 6 with 33 seconds left, they run the ball, they only get 3 yards, and they let the clock melt down. So were they trying to melt the clock down? It just didn't seem right. I didn't agree with the play call, but it did work out in the end. So we're looking at the good. So we at Chin Check Radio, of course, we're going to put things in the proper context. We're not going to just say, well, hey, we won and everything is good. We'll talk about the good and the bad. Let's talk about the good. The good, despite missing their starting right tackle, despite missing their 2 defensive ends, despite missing their starting safety and another stud wide receiver, to go on the road to beat a Chargers team that, again, the Cowboys were the underdog against. They were talking about Justin Herbert being the next big thing. By the way, did the Chargers pay Tyrod Taylor some type of settlement package or something like that for their medical negligence that caused him to be injured, which pretty much handed the starting job to Justin Herbert on a silver platter? Not saying he didn't show that he deserved it, but how he got it leaves a lot to be questioned. I will just say that, and yes, I will call that out. So to lose that type of talent, especially on the defensive side, especially with offensive line, and let me say this about Zach Martin coming back, you clearly see the difference that this guy makes. If you look at Zeke's touchdown run, was literally right behind Zach Martin, and we're talking about Zach Martin, who turned his guy completely to the side. Excellent footwork, excellent technique, and I thought it was a great job there. So really showed a lot of moxie, again, playing on the road, missing a lot of key contributors, so we will give the Cowboys credit on that. The defense coming with a lot of key interceptions at the right time, so that was good. The bad. I'm really trying to figure out maybe one particular play call. and this was in the third quarter. Now, at this point, the Cowboys had clearly established a run. The Chargers could not stop the Cowboys on the ground. I mean, it literally was an open lane. And they had a 2nd and 5, where Zeke just got a 5-yard run. They decided to throw a pass behind the line of scrimmage to CeeDee Lamb, who stopped for a loss, now becomes 3rd and 9. Then he get a sack on the very next play, which knocks the Cowboys out of field goal range. I didn't agree with that particular sequence of play calls, but it is what it is. For all the good the defense played today, especially in the second half stiffening up, however, they allowed too many third down conversions. And when I mean third down, I'm talking like 3rd and long, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12. So I felt they needed to tighten up on that. That was too much, especially for a defense that's trying to take the next step. You cannot have 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, and allowing long conversions like that. That really just should not happen. And there were times where there were Chargers receivers wide open down the field, and only because of penalty, and especially on a couple of touchdowns that should have been touchdowns, but not for penalties, they were called back. My issue, and I tweeted this with some friends during the game, okay, great, it was a penalty that negated the touchdown. However, my question was, how did the receiver get so wide open? So those are the things that we tend to pay attention to. So again, it was definitely a good effort by the team. Anthony Brown. Jeremy, brother, I know you're listening, and we've had our conversations about Anthony Brown. We had mentioned him last week on the broadcast. And Anthony Brown, they need to figure out something to do with this guy. He clearly is a weak link in the secondary. If you can't cover, at least tackle. That Chargers touchdown, their lone touchdown, was from an Anthony Brown missed tackle. And that's kind of bad. Actually, I'll take it back. That's awful. At least if covering is not your thing, at least make the tackle. And the question I'm going to ask is, where the hell is Kelvin Joseph? Where the hell is Deshaun Wright? Because Deshaun Wright was drafted last year, and Kelvin Joseph, Boss Man Fat, his rap name, was drafted in the 2nd round. And these guys fit that mold of a Dan Quinn, those tall cornerbacks. And if you're getting that type of piss poor play from Anthony Brown, and by the way, the receiver he was covering was wide open a few more times than I would like for him to be. So yeah, they really need to look into what they're going to do with Anthony Brown. And again, at Chin Check Radio, Dallas, y'all need to be listening to us, because we see these things and we call them out for what they are. So if you're listening, let's take a look at Kelvin Joseph and Deshaun Wright, and let's see what they can give you. Just saying. Micah Parsons. Now, of course, a stat line, which I read his stat line earlier, I give this kid credit. Now, again, I don't think he's playing his right position. I know he has experience playing defensive end. I think he's better served as a middle linebacker, considering his skill set, his ability to get off the blocks, sideline to sideline pursuit. I know because of injury, he had to play some defensive end and did a very admirable job. And really lined up on the right, going against the right tackle, and really was beating the right tackle pretty much throughout the evening, and really had a key sack that forced the Chargers to take a field goal instead of a touchdown, where they stopped his forward progress because Justin Herbert kept running back and Michael Parsons stopped him. He was repeatedly in the backfield. So I thought Parsons played an excellent game. Again, I wish he was playing more of the middle linebacker position. If you're going to put a guy, if there was a Cowboy linebacker to play at defensive end with his hand in the dirt, should be Leighton Vander Esch, who did have a sack. He did play defensive end at Boise State, so I think that it's working out so far. Again, I'm not with the whole having guys play out of position, but it is a testament to this guy's versatility to go from playing the middle linebacker to pretty much playing well at defensive end. So I will give him credit for that. So I just, the coaches, let them, kind of do their thing. I tweeted this. Since we're short on defensive ends, we're going to need the Dorrance Armstrongs to step up, the Bradley and Nyes to step up, the Azul Kamars to step up. Gentlemen, this is your time to make it happen. You have an opportunity that is presented to you, and in the NFL, you are supposed to take advantage of these opportunities. And yes, Stancil, I know you mentioned that if Micah Parsons, is he already our best pass rusher? That's a problem. Because, again, your rookie linebacker, who's really a middle linebacker, was really in the backfield more than any of your other defensive ends. Now, I know Dorrance Armstrong was in the backfield. He had a hit on Justin Herbert. So it was what it was. So going forward, definitely a solid win. A lot of things to clean up as they play their home opener next Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles. So now they begin their division play. The Eagles are 1-1. You definitely want to open up your division play. The Cowboys should win that game next week. Again, they're playing their home opener. They have the better quarterback. They seem to have the better team on paper, playing against the Eagles next week. So until the next time, it's Chin Check Radio signing out.